Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be going over the planning process of Corey's 1970 Plymouth Cuda. This is going to be a really awesome build. It's going to have a Roadster Shop chassis with IRS. It's going to have a Don Schumacher Racing supercharged Hemi with over 1,100 horsepower. This car is going to be wild from start to finish. Tons of body mods, you know, everything you would ever want in a full build. So stay tuned. You got to watch and see. It's going to be an awesome build. All right, so half-started project, right? We bought it this way. So there's some unknowns, obviously, but I think the main thing that we need to start with over here is get the car squared up on the chassis, which Marty's already working on, and then we'll figure out from there like what replacement panels we still need to buy, and we'll really focus on just getting the body back squared up, straight, rust-free, and ready for Kyle, or, you know, you guys, depending on timing goes. We can do some of the sheet metal work over here as well. But the main thing is at this point, just try to let's get all the sheet metal put on the car and fitting.
Make it a squared body.
Make it square, just similar to how we did the Mustang.
Okay.
You know, just get it mocked up and ready to go. Trim away some of the rest of this inner structure that we don't need. And then once we get to that point, then we can see if Kyle wants us to go ahead and get the engine and trans mocked up in it. The nice Don Schumacher Racing. How many horsepower?
I don't know. I haven't even looked at it yet.
You haven't looked at it?
No. I was waiting until we were in the
It
project.
looks like there's motor mounts and stuff in those
Yeah.
shop box over there for the Hellcat motors.
Right. Now, the thing with this one is, with having the Hellcat, it's based off a Hellcat engine, but the supercharger is kind of tall on this one. It's an aftermarket supercharger. So we might have to do a Woodward steering rack conversion to this chassis to get the engine down.
We'll get it to sit
For
lower.
hood clearance, yeah. So
So you don't have to change the hood.
you don't have to what?
So you don't have to change the hood any.
Right.
So as of right now, we're doing more or less factory appearing car.
Yeah, and you know, I just say it's a CCS twist on a factory style
Yeah,
car.
like we normally
It's not going to be a completely shaved, you know, like the door handles are shaved. We're not going to do that, or keep those. But it's not going to be a totally like shaved looking pro touring car. It's going to be more based around stock styling.
Okay.
We have renderings already done, and we can make some tweaks to them. Now that we're actually started on the car, I want to talk to the customer one more time to make sure that that's exactly where he wants to go with it.
Okay. Can we get a couple?
Yeah, I'll
the
get
renderings.
the renderings over to you.
Okay.
But obviously, you know, fit as big of a tire as we can back there. Right now, we don't even have any outer wheelhouses, so. But like we talked about earlier today, if we want to go ahead and try to get a tire mocked up in there, figure out how we're going to address the outer wheelhouse before we put the quarter panel on, you know, we can start looking at that if we want to make it go more straight up. I'm not sure how the outer wheelhouses are constructed on these from the factory, but
Yeah, I don't think we have.
I don't think
even
we
a
have
piece of one.
Look at.
right.
I know there's not much room on an e-body.
So, and my vote would be we'll probably just make our own outer wheelhouses.
One thing about that's pretty grounded wheelhouse, so it shouldn't be that bad to make.
Right. Yeah, and my concern is on the outermost point of that. You know how typically those start to curve in this way. If we can make that go straight up, it helps the tire clearance, right? And keeping the wheel out.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you got
Especially-
some, the quarter,
So much you can go. 'Cause
right, the quarter is starting to go that way. But I think on what I was getting at, on the outer wheelhouses, I would have to imagine the factory ones kind of had some air gap there between the quarter and the outer wheelhouse. So
Yeah.
the tighter we can get that thing to the outer quarter, the better for tire clearance. So we need to start looking at all that stuff before we go too far with welding the quarters on it.
I assume when we get to the tub, are we just going to take it all the way to the frame and be done, or do you want to
Well, I haven't even
get it cut out enough that we can start fitting something in there and see?
Right. The one thing to remember on these cars too, with it being an IRS, it becomes difficult to get the wheel and tire out of there,
Yeah.
you know, because it's not like a regular Ford 9-inch being in there. You can undo the coilovers and lift the rear and swing down to get the tires and wheels out from underneath of it. So we got to think about that too. Having some extra room in there to try to finagle a wheel up in there would be nice.
Okay. Because I would assume the way this chassis is made too, rear seat ain't going to be much in this car. 'Cause those frame rails are
Yeah.
the entire back seat right now.
But I think if we just really focus on getting the thing structurally sound again, get some sheet metal on it. Marty, you're thinking that the car is not 100% square right now?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's not racked a tidbit because
yeah.
I measured a quarter-inch longer. Either that or they made that inner rocker longer than what it should be.
Okay.
Because I don't think that's a factory inner rocker. Because they put a new inner rocker on it.
Right.
Or something to fix this.
Put a flat piece on there.
And it can't be too far off because look where it's got to set. I mean,
Yeah, I see.
but see the difference here? There's a quarter of an inch between that side over there. It's like that needs to go back, or this side needs to go forward.
All right, Travis,
All right.
ask questions. Questions.
I don't. This guy's got questions. What other questions you got, Marty? I don't have any right now. I don't even know enough about it yet.
I don't really have any other than the fact.
What do you mean you don't know enough about it?
We're just getting started on it.
I feel like rear body panels.
Yeah, we'll get on and look. I'm pretty positive you can buy the
I
tail
think
panel.
well, I don't know if AMD's got this stuff or not for Chrysler. Oh, I think so. Look at that.
Yeah, they got
There's
it.
an AMD tag right
I
there.
mean, this panel ain't bad. I mean, you might be better off to go with this one and just fix it versus fit from the AMD.
I bet this body could be shifted because this quarter is all wrinkled up and there's dents in this stuff.
Right.
Might be like the Charger was.
Where
It
it was
had
hitting
that.
that corner.
So this side could be moved.
It's always a mystery. Like this car came to us this way, so we don't know.
We don't know what's
Right.
Yeah, I don't even.
Even
know.
this is kind of
Yeah, I don't
pushed down.
think that's supposed to be that crazy either.
I'll get the renderings printed off for you,
Okay.
and then we'll just we'll start to look and see what's available, sheet metal wise, and start rocking and rolling.
I made some tabs and welded them to the inner rockers so it would, and then drilled holes so I got alignment tabs going into the frame so I can go back exactly where it went. And then I'll be pulling the body off. I gotta weld some pinch weld clamps on it to put it on the pinch weld part. Since the pinch welds was taken away on it by somebody to smooth the rockers out for the roaster shop chassis. So it ain't a big deal. Then we gotta send the chassis off to get it powder coated. I gotta take it all apart, take all the suspension off. So now I gotta cut a weld. Oh, that's stuck.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more build videos like this, help us out by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. And it's a little thing to do, but don't forget to turn on those notifications. If you want to buy merch, go to store.classiccarstudio.com. See you next time.